What's up, everyone? In my last video I showed you my 20 long with the sand substrate. This tank right here is my baby, my pride and joy, I guess, my first really successful fish tank. It's been a hot minute since I showed you guys an update. I think it was like November last year or something like that. So not too much has changed, but I just figured I'd show you some of the changes I made. So real quick, this Ludwigia right here, Ludwigia repens or something like that. It's a really beautiful plant. If you have enough iron and enough light, it gets some red on the leaves. You can see that leaf right there towards the top is really red. I actually got to trim these down, and you can see the plants are pearling right now. They're super happy. It's a beautiful plant, but for some reason I can't really seem to manage it quite right. It sends out these nasty they call them aerial roots, and as you can see, the lower half of the plant, sorry, I just want to focus, the lower half of the plant is basically all roots. So I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to basically cut off the tops of these plants right here, and probably just gift them away to someone on the Planted or planettank.net. Do what they call a random act of kindness and just give those away. Someone else can replant them. And I'm going to see what happens down here. It's pretty much just roots, couple leaves. I'm going to see how it grows back, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. Added a new plant down here. I'm really sorry, but I can't remember like a lot of the names off the top of my head. You know what I'll probably do is, once I figure out all the names of these plants, I'll just add them to the description. I have my Java Fern down here. I have some pygmy chain right here. It's not really propagating too well. You can see the runner going out. It's not really doing anything. So I just bought a whole bunch of micro sword right there in the back. You can see the leaves are still kind of curly from being packaged up. I spread that out a little bit, put some fertilizer in, and I'm going to see what happens. And I'm probably going to buy a little bit more and just fill in some of the other spaces and see what happens. I got some nice red plants there in the back. That one is doing really well. I mean, just the amount of red that plant has is really awesome, and add some diversity to the tank. And then that one back there in the corner, I forget what that is exactly, but it's got a little bit of redness to it. It's a nice plant. So as if you go look back at my other videos, this tank has undergone quite a lot of changes. I just keep moving things around, and shifting it, and that's part of the hobby, just never really accepting. I want perfect. I want beyond perfect, and I feel like I'm kind of getting there, and I'm going for a jungle look. So I just kind of want that like wild, out of control look, and I think I'm succeeding. You probably notice on the glass, I do have a little bit of, I think, green spot algae, and I'm dealing with that by getting some snails and some algae eaters. So I may have to dial back the lights just a little bit to control that algae, or maybe just turn up the CO2 a little bit. And if you remember from my last video, I got the pressurized CO2 going there, and I have a video about that regulator if you want to see that. And the canister filter doesn't really need any explanation. It's canister filter. So what I'm doing differently with the CO2 is I have that ceramic diffuser. I did have it coming up into this little power head, and it would suck the bubbles in the back, and then it would just shoot the bubbles across the tank, and I felt like that was helping the CO2 get into the water more. And I didn't like the fact that it looked like it was snowing 24/7 in my tank. So what I'm doing now as a little experiment is I have the diffuser right underneath the intake to my canister filter. So 95% of the bubbles are just going directly up into the intake for the canister filter. So all those bubbles are gonna go through all the tubing, and then through all the water in the actual canister filter. And then, as you can see, coming out on the other side of the outtake, there's a little bit of bubbles, but not that much. So that means pretty much all of the CO2 is being absorbed into the water, which is pretty cool. And then I don't have that weird snowing effect in my tank. So if you have any questions, suggestions, advice, whatever, just drop a comment. I'll respond back to it. Give me a thumbs up if you like my tank and like what I'm doing, and definitely subscribe. I'm gonna have 2 different journals going, showing the progress of what's going on with my tanks, and it's pretty fun, and it's a lot more fun if people interact with me. I mean, that's why I'm putting these videos on here. So I'll just get a little shot of the different fish. I have I think it's called a honeycomb gourami back in the corner. This little Rosy Tetra, blood something Tetra, something like that. And of course I have the neon Tetra. Alright, then last thing before I wrap this video up, I'm going to probably do a separate video just so I can kind of keep things shorter and easier for people to watch. I upgraded my light. I used to have a couple under cabinet T8s, which are now on my 20 gallon upstairs. I bit the bullet, upgraded, don't mind this, just an experiment. Upgraded to a Finnex Planted Plus. So far I love the light. It's super bright, almost too bright sometimes. I have to get used to the fact that there's no lid on my aquarium anymore. I don't really like change like that, and I liked how clean and like hidden everything was. Now I have this condensation on this glass cover. You can see the reflection of the light. I don't really like that, so if you have any suggestions for that, that would be awesome. I liked having the black hood on top. All the light just went into the tank, and I don't really like the light on the wall. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I don't like change. But this is the Finnex Planted Plus. Super bright. Not a bad price. I don't know if I'm okay. Yeah, so you can see there in the reflection, it's alternating white and red lights, which is kind of nice. And supposedly the plants like a little red light from now and again. But I took the legs off this just because I'm trying to control the glare, and I felt like with the legs on the light, it was raising the light up a lot, and I was just getting a lot more light washing out onto the sides, of the wall and behind the tank. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like I said, any suggestions, tips, whatever, I'm all ears. But anyway, that is the Finnex Planted Plus. And if you see another reflection in there, right around there, the white and the blue, I have a Marineland suction cup LED bar just for some extra light. It gets a little blue light in there too. You can kind of see it's suction cupped on the glass right there. So I actually have 2 LED lights. So anyway, this video's starting to get long. Like I said, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. Subscribe if you want to be part of this, progress and journey with me. I'd love to have you along. So thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.